From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, September the 16th, 2024. We opened with the attack from Yemen at Israel in the early hours of yesterday morning, local Israel time. The IDF said at 6:21 a.m. a surface-to-surface missile was launched from Yemen towards the territory of the State of Israel. Massive alert sirens were set off in central Israel from Tel Aviv to Modi'in, sending residents to bomb shelters. The IDF said from a preliminary examination, it appears that the missile apparently disintegrated in the air. The IDF said several interception attempts were made by Israel's aerial defense systems, and some fragments fell at the train station in Modi'in, causing some damage, and other fragments fell in an open area near Daniel, causing a fire. The Times of Israel said that 9 people were treated by rescue services for minor injuries sustained as they ran for shelter when the sirens went off, but there were no injuries reported from the missile. The Times of Israel reports that one interceptor of the IDF did hit the missile, but did not destroy it completely, and the IDF is investigating. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed the attack from Yemen at his government meeting yesterday, saying, "We are in a multi-front campaign against Iran's axis of evil, which is striving for our destruction." He said yesterday, this morning, the Houthis launched a surface-to-surface missile from Yemen at our territory. They should know that we exact a high price for any attempt to attack us. Hamas is already learning this through our determined action, which will bring about its destruction and the release of all of our hostages. And addressing the ongoing rocket and drone attacks at northern Israel by terror group Hezbollah from Lebanon, which has caused the evacuation of most of that area, Netanyahu said, "We will do whatever is necessary to return our residents securely to their homes. I am committed to this." Rocket attacks continue today at northern Israel. Some were intercepted, the IDF said. The rest landed in open areas, and there were no injuries reported. The IDF responded, hitting Hezbollah terrorists and terror targets in Lebanon, including today, it said, hitting weapons depots in Lebanon. U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein is back in Israel working on finding a diplomatic solution to the situation on the Lebanese border, meeting today with Netanyahu, as well as with Israel's Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, who wrote, "I emphasized to him," meaning to Hochstein, "that Hezbollah continues to tie itself to Hamas, and therefore the only way left for us to return the residents of the north to their homes will be through military action." An Israeli border police officer was lightly hurt in a terror attack at the Damascus Gate in Jerusalem's Old City last night. Israel Police's international spokesperson Dean Elsden spoke from the scene of the attack last night with more details.
A short while ago, a terror attack took place right here at the Shechem Gate in Jerusalem, where a terrorist stabbed a border police officer who was patrolling the area, which is what they typically do here to keep our civilians safe. The terrorist attempted to flee after the attack, but was quickly intercepted by border police officers and neutralized, preventing any further harm to anybody else.
The victim is said to be 20 years old. He was taken in light condition to the hospital for treatment. Israeli opposition leader Yair Lapid is in Washington, where he met today at the White House with U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Lapid wrote, "We discussed, among other things, the importance of increasing efforts to reach a deal for the return of the hostages, who he said are running out of time." The 101 hostages who remain captive by Hamas in Gaza have now been held for 346 days. Israel's President Isaac Herzog launched a new initiative yesterday, the Voice of the People, aimed, he said, at promoting a dialogue of unity, understanding, and partnership among the Jewish people in Israel and around the world. His first guest, Wonder Woman herself, Israeli actress Gal Gadot, who, like the president, wore a yellow ribbon pin for the hostages and spoke of the devastating October 7th Hamas massacre and the dire hostage crisis.
I've always and forever will be proud of my heritage, my, Israeli and Jewish identity. No one has ever expected or thought that such horrific thing could happen to our people, could happen in general in the world in 2024. There's not a day that goes by without me thinking about the hostages and the fact that we're even here now talking. They're there in Gaza, in the tunnels, surviving for almost a year in this hellish reality.
Herzog saying it is the nation's highest priority to bring the hostages back home. He and Gadot also spoke of the great importance, especially at this time, of Jewish unity.
We will prevail, but the only way to do it is by being united.
Israeli actor Ido Samuel wore a yellow ribbon pin to the Emmy Awards last night in Hollywood. Samuel was part of the cast of We Were the Lucky Ones on Hulu, and he was asked by a journalist from Variety why he was wearing the yellow ribbon.
The yellow ribbon is for the hostages, for the 101 hostages that still being held captive, and it's to bring awareness for their situation. Hopefully everything will end soon, and there will be peace and quiet for the families and for everybody. And it's hard to be here in a happy occasion and knowing there are people who are suffering, but so that's the least I can do to bring a little bit of awareness.
Jewish winners at the Emmys last night included Alex Edelman, who won Outstanding Writing for a Variety Special for his comedy special Just for Us on HBO Max that focuses on contemporary anti-Semitism and Jewish identity. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, September the 16th at 7 o'clock. It's an FIDF live briefing with Mordechai Kedar. At 8, Abigail Pogrebin speaks with Chancellor Emeritus of the Jewish Theological Seminary, Arnold Eisen, one of the world's foremost authorities on American Judaism in the spotlight. Afterwhich, hear from Matzah Book Soup co-founders Lilli and Amanda, who share their recommendation for the historical fiction novel Don't Forget to Write. At 9, Broadway composer and lyricist Stephen Schwartz is on L'chaim. At 10, it's Good Week Israel, which is also coming up next. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, September the 16th, 2024. I'm Teisha Bader. Am Yisrael Chai.